My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
Artificial generalized intelligence. If you haven't heard of that before, well, I'll bet you probably have even heard of or used ChatGPT, Midjourney, or any one of the dozens of AI tools that have been taking the world by storm this year. In this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at the man behind the curtain, the mysterious wizard of Silicon Valley, Sam Altman. And we're going to be getting to the truth about him, his companies, what they're building, and most importantly, what it all means for you and the future of humanity. This might be the most important topic in the world right now, so we want to make sure to bring the BitSquad up to speed. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Today we're doing a deep dive on the king of AI, Sam Altman, finding out what this awkward-looking startup junkie is really all about. Samuel Harris Altman grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. He got his first computer at the age of 8. This was back in the 90s when computers were still using dial-up and pets.com. In 2005, young Samuel dropped out of Stanford after 1 year studying computer science, co-founded Loot, location-based social networking mobile application. Go ahead and smash that like button and turn on the channel notifications, which puts you in the BitSquad. Make sure you stay up to speed with the latest crypto news so you don't drop out of all the best gains in the next bull run. But as the CEO of Loop, little Altman raised over $30 million in venture capital at the business-savvy age of just 19 years old. Imagine being so rich you think it's a good idea to give $30 million to a 19-year-old. Anyways, Loop failed to gain traction, but Sam was still able to sell it in March 2012 to the Green Dot Corporation for $43.4 million. Not bad for a first-time failed startup. Just 1 month later, the dropout failed founder co-founded another company, Hydrazine Capital, with his brother Jack. And in February 2014, Sammy's startup was named president of Y Combinator. 2014, Sam claimed that the total valuation of Y Combinator companies has surpassed $65 billion. Their catalog is much more impressive than Sam's resume and includes Airbnb, Dropbox, Coinbase, Instacart, OpenSea, and Stripe, among countless others. Altman set a target for Y Combinator to fund 1,000 new companies per year, which is so many it makes it seem like Sam is just slinging more and more bad ideas at the wall to see what sticks. 2015, Altman donated $10 million to start Y Combinator Research, a nonprofit research lab that Sammy funded to research basic income, the future of computing, education, and building new cities. All these topics seem related, almost like they're part of a larger plan. Sam co-founded OpenAI with Elon Musk in 2015, and in 2019 announced that he would be stepping back at Y Combinator to focus on being CEO of OpenAI. OpenAI has several products, including DALL-E, a generative text-to-image AI tool, Whisper, an AI-driven speech-to-text tool, and Codex. But the most famous AI tool that OpenAI built is called ChatGPT, a generative AI tool that returns text, images, or videos in response to user input prompts. Now you input your like and subscribe to the channel to get the latest in crypto news. About 27% of y'all aren't subscribed. I don't get it. Now, I don't have time to get into exactly how all this AI stuff works, but just from some basic understanding, generative AI is a broad term for any AI system that primarily creates content. Large language models, or LLMs, are a type of AI system that works with language and draws from a large set of data and computational power. These can create a foundational model, which is a term for AI systems that can be applied to a range of purposes. So ChatGPT is a foundational generative AI model that's based on a large language model. Okay, so sorry if that was confusing. I think this stuff's pretty cool, and it's important to understand what all these geeks are talking about with this stuff. I gotta research it. I guess they know it intuitively. Moving on, ChatGPT was so popular that it reached 100 million users in just 2 months after launching in 2022, which set an all-time record for user adoption. In response to this unprecedented user demand, Microsoft, a longtime investor in OpenAI, decided to increase their investment and extend their partnership, announcing in January 2023 that they would be investing an additional $10 billion into OpenAI. By now, you might be wondering, Ben, that's all great, but what does Sammy have to do with crypto? Back in 2019, when he stepped away from Y Combinator to run OpenAI, Altcoin Altman also co-founded Tools for Humanity, the company building a global iris-based biometric cryptocurrency system called WorldCoin. What is WorldCoin? Well, according to Sam, WorldCoin was conceived as a prototype for universal basic income, which Sam sees is inevitable due to the rise of the technology that Sam keeps building himself. Also seems like if he would stop building all these things, then we won't have to depend on him to protect us from them. So weird. Sam tried to keep this project quiet at first, probably because it sounds so evil. But the idea simply is this. Users get paid in WorldCoin in a wallet they can use in the Ethereum ecosystem and runs on Optimism's tech stack. WLD tokens will be claimed by people, and to verify your identity and unique personhood, WorldCoin wants to scan your iris using a super evil looking silver camera called the Orb. I swear you can't make this stuff up. WorldCoin has a kiosk in Barcelona offering free French fries in exchange for scanning your irises. Good thing I only eat freedom fries. Some offer a $10 rebate on purchases. Some offer a chance to win a new car. Where's Bob Barker when you need him? But whatever paltry bribe Sam Altman and his WorldCoin henchmen are offering, I guarantee you that it's not worth it. Details on this project are still deliberately being kept under wraps, but basic human intuition should tell you whatever they're up to, it's dystopian at best and an evil conspiracy to control the world at worst. My friends at Altcoin Daily said it well. Your eyes will be scanned. You will give up your biometrics data. You will accept your UBI in WLD coin. Sounds like exactly what the World Economic Forum's been planning for years. The scariest part? It's working. Hundreds of thousands of users are being quietly onboarded to WorldCoin in exchange for one of Sam's silly little bribes. According to Nansen, Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution, Optimism surpassed Arbitrum in daily transactions for the first time since January. The spike in activity began on July 24th, the same day WorldCoin token went live on the Optimism mainnet. Although WorldCoin is careful to try and hide this information, definitely do not advertise what's really going on. If you look close at the privacy deep dive section of their website, you'll see they say they're collecting a lot more than just users' irises. They need lots of data to make sure that the orbs are trained to recognize eyes, regardless of who it scans. Initial scans targeted mostly children in developing countries like Chile, Indonesia, and Sudan. I'm all in favor of decentralized digital identity, but there are a ton of great projects that are working on solutions for that. And none of them have relied on this creepy system of bribing poor children in third world countries so they can harvest their biometric data. There has to be a better way. Now, if you're like me, this kind of behavior by one centralized company, especially a company run by Sam Altman, the man trying to build the world's first AGI, it should worry you. Apparently, it worries European regulators too. Last week, French privacy watchdog group said the legality of this collection seems questionable, as do the conditions for storing biometric data. They're coordinating their ongoing investigation with German authorities as well. Britain's Information Commissioner's Office also confirmed that it was making inquiries. Even Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin warned WorldCoin has major issues and pointed out the iris scans could inadvertently expose a person's sex, ethnicity, and maybe even their medical conditions. Talk about a privacy risk. How many of you incels living in your mom's basement want people to know that you never even had sex? Oh, that's not what they're talking about? Despite what seems to be nearly universal concerns about WorldCoin's operations, Altman says they're going strong and onboarding one new verified person every 8 seconds. That's a bull run, a bull ride. Crazy to think about, but at that rate, it would take them 5 years to get to 20 million users. So Altman's plans to 5x WorldCoin's onboarding capacity, well, it's going to be done by the end of the year. And now we get to the most interesting part of the story to me anyways, and that's Altman's ongoing and highly public feud with the Doge father himself, Elon Musk. Short version of how this conflict started is in 2018, Elon approached the other founders of OpenAI and expressed concern that the company had fallen hopelessly behind Google in the quest for AGI. Musk proposed that he take over OpenAI in order to catch up. The other founders rejected his bid, and Musk eventually left the company and withdrew his funding. Altman eventually took over, and the two have been in competition and even some conflict ever since. When ChatGPT launched in November of 2022, OpenAI instantly became the hottest name in tech. Musk was reportedly furious. In December 2022, Musk pulled OpenAI's access to Twitter's data, ending a contract signed before Musk acquired Twitter. February 17th, Elon tweeted, "OpenAI was created as an open source, which is why I named it OpenAI, nonprofit company to serve as a counterweight to Google, but now it has become a closed source maximum profit company effectively controlled by Microsoft." On March 15th, he tweeted, "I'm still confused as to how a nonprofit to which I donated about $100 million somehow became a $30 billion market cap for profit. If this is legal, why doesn't everyone do it?" That's Bill Gates, he does it. Altman finally fired back in an interview saying about Elon, "I mean, he's a jerk. Whatever else you want to say about him, but I think he does really care, and he is feeling very stressed about what the future is going to look like for humanity." Which is very interesting because a lot of this sounds exactly like conversations I had with Sam Bankman-Fried around the time of the FTX collapse. Things he said about me to me and to other people was he knew that I really cared about the stuff that I was talking about, but I just was going about it the wrong way. Very eerie similarities there. The reason for their dispute, though, seems to come down to both men wanting to prove themselves. Elon wants to be the man who took down Google and Twitter, and Altman seems to just want to make up for the fact that his first startup, well, it failed. He tweeted in February, "I failed pretty hard at my first startup, it sucked, and am doing pretty well on my second. The thing I wish someone told me during the first one is that no one else thinks about your failures as much as you do, and that as long as you don't psych yourself out, you can try again." It's crazy, the two guys with such big brains can be still so small-minded. So we talked a lot about Sam Altman, but what's the takeaway here? What's really at stake in this story? Well, I think it goes back to where we started, fear. Altman is a prepper. He said in 2016, "I have guns, gold, potassium iodide, antibiotics, batteries, water, gas masks from the Israeli Defense Force, and a big patch of land and big shore I can fly to." What is he prepping for? Well, he doesn't say. But I think the key is the answer to that question was asked in Congress on May 16, 2023. What's his biggest fear?
My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
So it's clear that Sam is consciously aware of the risks of what he's doing, but he's doing it anyway. He's taken an attitude of technological determinism, the idea that anything can be done will be done. So why not do it first? Why not create the tools for a dystopian nightmare future and then have all the power you need to avoid it right there in your hand? There's just one problem with that. If you believe in technological determinism, you also believe that the path of technology is the same for everyone, which means that anyone else could go down the same path and beat you to the prize at the finish line. And what's that prize? Well, if you ask Sam, artificial general intelligence, AGI, which means a piece of software that can find solutions to new unfamiliar tasks. Basically, code that can actually think. It's likely that the creation of such a piece of technology would lead to what's known to sci-fi nerds as the technological singularity, God in a box. The singularity refers to a point at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable changes to humanity and civilization. OpenAI published a paper in April concluding that the latest OpenAI model exhibits many traits of intelligence, including abstraction, comprehension, vision, coding, and understanding of human motives and emotions. In June, the New York Times published an article alleging that many leaders of Silicon Valley are becoming concerned that the singularity may already be here and we just haven't realized it yet. Altman himself stated during his recent appearance on the Lex Fridman podcast that he believes that multiple teams will create AGI while working on different projects in different parts of the world at roughly the same time. In other words, Sam isn't just worried that he won't get to the singularity first, he's worried that even if he does, his creation still won't be enough to save him from itself. And that's Sam Altman's worst fear. Sam once tweeted, "AI is the tech the world has always wanted, but we don't want it if it means we have to let him scan our eyes and unleash something on mankind that has the power to take over every aspect of our lives before we even realize we've lost control." Let me know down below in the comments what you think about Sam Altman and his plans to control the future of civilization. And let me know what you think about AI and which projects are using it in creative ways that might give them an edge in the next bull run. And most importantly, Sam Altman versus Sam Bankman-Fried in a cage match, who wins? That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.